ahead. So since 2018, we've trained over 1,000 providers to deliver high impact quality childcare for over 26,000 children in the industrial zones in Vietnam across 4 provinces. With support of global and country specific partners, we plan to build on that core training program and include a robust monitoring and evaluation system that will help improve holistic support for HPCs, home based care, business skills, again, nutrition, parent engagement, and workforce professionalization. Also, we have a new strategic partnership with the MOET in Vietnam, which is the Ministry of Education and Training, and we aim to develop a national model and begin to scale that national model in Vietnam to other committed countries within Southeast Asia. Pardon me. And we hope to reach an estimated 1 million children across the region with the home based care and play based interventions that we provide. So we know that from global evidence, access to childcare is essential for working families, and its quality is critical to ensure children are safe and stimulating environments that yield developmental benefits. In Vietnam, we've seen that home based environments for childcare can be particularly accessible, warm, and inviting for low resource families who often lean on extended family and village neighbors. But this really is not possible most times when they have to migrate to work in urban areas. They don't have those family connections that are close to them anymore. So, caring home based care providers offer a close community alternative to that. This is where One Sky comes in with our theory of change. Our theory of change is bolstered by the global research along with specific evidence from our impact evaluations, laying out our project's pathway to impact even further. This is done by partnering with community and government partners to implement our evidence based training program for new and existing providers, through training of government trainers and caregivers, by providing technical assistance, by providing supportive supervision, and our ongoing monitoring and digital tools that will hopefully strengthen government capacity for scale. And we want to do that by continuing to have our interactive training sessions that incorporate digital tools, group discussions, role plays, and other immersion activities. We also want to strengthen the delivery and monitoring of holistic care for children in these home based care facilities with improved responsive caregiving through coaching on play based early learning and child engagement. And again, our online learning platform, I just wanted to show you a few slides of what that looks like. This allows trainers to offer individualized guidance online, which expands coaching beyond classrooms and home based care visits. Providers engage in One Big Family's peer community of practice to exchange best practices that have worked for each of them, while continuing to access the rich content that we have on the platform, such as serve and return interaction videos, play activities and lessons. They share local songs and stories, do it yourself guides for homemade toys, and other interactive resources that are accessible to all educational levels. And our One Big Family online learning platform proved to be instrumental during COVID lockdowns as they were an important resource for learning and communication at that time. So the benefits are numerous. Quality childcare increases early childhood developmental knowledge, skills and proficiency among local providers, along with building up their business skills and professional workforce supports. It also supports gender equity in the workforce among women who provide home based care. All of this while simultaneously expanding access to home based childcare and improving the quality of our HBCs leads to improved developmental outcomes for young children all across Southeast Asia, in this case, particularly in Vietnam. I referenced the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health and their impact study that they did in partnership with RTCCD Vietnam. This was the first study of its kind on a childcare training program in Asia and the largest outside of high income countries. An evaluation found that One Sky's program has a positive, sustained impact on home based care quality, including the physical environment, child care interactions, inclusiveness, and support for early development and learning, with additional promising evidence on training spillover effects to other childcare staff. Meaning that once someone has gone through our training curriculum, they often share and talk about what they've learned with other childcare staff who were not enrolled in that curriculum. The program also uniquely contributes to positive improvements in fine motor skills, visual perception, and early learning composite scores of children who attend these home based care facilities. Additionally, One Sky trained providers reported high satisfaction with the program and were keen to recommend it to others. Interviewed stakeholders, such as government officials, also highlighted the implementation features of the digital online learning through One Sky's One Big Family platform. And through an invitation to expand nationally with Vietnam's MOET, their Ministry of Education and Training, we're now working to build government capacity to deliver our training at scale. So the ambition with this is over the next 5 years, we will be able to fully fund and scale up a government-led model in which One Sky will train government trainers to work with and train home-based care providers across 5 more provinces in Vietnam. The majority are in expanding industrial and urban zones, and we hope to reach over 500,000 children and over 16,000 more home-based care providers facilities. The MOET has also requested our technical assistance in monitoring progress and creating a policy environment, which includes informing the government's national guidance on home-based care quality for standards and supporting of the HBC workforce. So as we scale this national model in Vietnam, our coalition will hope to advocate and engage other governments within the region to generate greater demand through global and political forums. So by year 3, we hope to take our approach in Vietnam as an exemplar to offer training and technical assistance to 2 other committed countries, at least 2 other committed countries, and governments in low and middle income areas in Southeast Asia, adopting and implementing the model to fit their own specific local, political, social, and cultural contexts, with the hope and goal of reaching at least 1 million children across the region. These are some of our global partners and recognizers. And with that, I just want to, on behalf of One Sky, thank you for allowing me to present on our work in Vietnam and hopefully across other areas in Southeast Asia. And I am appreciative and grateful for your time and attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shanelle. Now I invite Sunaina Chakraparty to make her presentation.
I'm trying to stop my screen share. Oh, there we are.
Thank you so much, Professor Rajni, and really grateful to be here, to share about our work with you all, and also really amazed by the work shared by Dr. Rita and Dr. Chanel. Very happy to be sharing stage with both of you here. I represent Makala Jagriti. We are a non-profit based in India, based in the southern state of Karnataka in India. And we primarily work with government institutions like the government preschools, what we call as Anganwadis here, and also with government schools. I'll share my screen. I have a few slides to share. You can see it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so Makla Jagrati is about 19 years old. Work with children and youth from the marginalized communities in Karnataka. One of our programs is focused on ECC, and our strong belief is that, much like all of us in this room, I'm sure that ECC could be the greatest and most powerful equalizer in today's world, right? And we really are looking at how we can strengthen early childhood care and education for children from the marginalized communities. How we do that? We look at transforming the Anganwadis, that is the government ECC centers, to provide holistic development opportunities for children. So the situation now, many of us who are in this space would know that the Anganwadis are able to provide access to health, nutrition fairly well, but when it comes to overall holistic development of the child, especially the learning and education part, the system is really lacking. And what Makla Jagrati tries to do is really see how we can transform these Anganwadis into vibrant spaces of learning where children come and are happy to learn. They get attention to their health, their nutrition, but also are learning and developing holistically. And in India, we have majority of the children in the age group of 0 to 6 years accessing the government Anganwadis. So, how we go about it, just a glimpse of what children in the Anganwadis look like. Our approach resonated a lot with what Dr. Chanel was also sharing earlier. First and foremost, we look at how we can create a very safe, conducive environment for learning in the Anganwadis. You would see, if you've seen Anganwadis in your neighborhood, you would see that a lot of them are dilapidated buildings. You know, they're not safe, they're not functional. They're also not equipped with the right preschool learning materials. So first, we look at how do we create that environment in these spaces. And then we look at the Anganwadi staff. There's a teacher, there's a helper. How do we equip them to provide quality learning opportunities? Because again, for them, the perception is that children need to get good food, good nutrition, take care of their health, maybe ask them to write ABC 1 2 3. But the idea of holistic development for a child, all the different domains of development for early childhood, or even why it's so critical, is completely absent in them. And in fact, they don't even consider their role so significant. So we look at how we can motivate them, equip them, train them to have the right skills, the right attitude, the right knowledge to be able to provide holistic learning opportunities. And the last one is looking at parental engagement. We saw Dr. Rita spoke about how fathers can be more engaged. We've seen that too. So we look at fathers, mothers, other caregivers. Sometimes it's a grandparent, sometimes it's an aunt, sometimes it's an older sibling that's taking care. So how do we empower the parents and caregivers to really support the child's development at home, and also support the early learning center is something we look at. We also look at how do we involve the community to be really more involved in the functioning of the center itself. So this is largely about our overall approach. I thought today I would like to share a few aspects which we consider as something unique we do, and something which has worked for us and could be useful for others working in this space. So one of I would call it an innovation in every Anganwadi is we created a toy library. So children coming to these Anganwadis are really from the poor and marginalized communities who may not be able to access learning materials and various toys that would help them to engage in every day. So every center has a library where the parents could borrow something, take it home. The child plays for a few days, then returns, then takes another toy. So in that way, it circulates, and children get access to various different learning materials and toys which they otherwise may not be able to access. And in the process, the parents also get involved in creating a lot of toys with local materials, but they may not be able to create so many by themselves at home. So this library really becomes rich, and the parents start engaging more with the Anganwadi to borrow these, play, and return. Another innovation I would say is we celebrate an ECC festival. In Kannada language, it's called Habba. So we bring the community together where there's a lot of activities where they engage in different. It could be games, it could be activities for fine motor development, activities for gross motor development, activities for language development. There's a storytelling corner. The whole idea is, how do I make ECC a celebration, make ECC a known aspect, because a lot of parents are under the perception that learning starts at 6 years when the child goes to the local primary school, but the earlier years, especially between 3 to 6 years, parents are not aware that they are critical years. So something like this we've seen has brings a lot of awareness, brings a lot of energy and enthusiasm about early learning itself in the community. We also have identified whom we call as lead mothers in every community. So you'll always see that in a community there'll be one or two parents who really are taking ownership, leadership, who are more enthusiastic, who probably have more time. So these mothers come and help in the Anganwadi. They help lead the parents' meetings, other parental engagement, community engagement activities. Sometimes in some Anganwadis, they take charge of the toy library. uh, they become role models and ambassadors for ECC in the community. So this is another thing that has really worked very well. Another one, I know the picture is not as attractive as the previous one looks. This is one of the first fathers meetings that we did, and I thought it's apt to share that. We saw that in the parents meetings, when we called the parents, it was always the mother coming. And this is not just in the Anganwadi, it happens in the schools and even the privileged communities, right? So we said we'll do exclusive fathers meetings. So we invited fathers separately so that they feel more comfortable coming and sharing. And during the pandemic, much like we saw in the first presentation, this really flipped, because engaging with the parents was through the mobile phone, and the father owned the mobile phone, so involving them became a lot easier. They started responding, they started taking charge of spending more time with their child. They also had more time, considering many of them were also at home during the periods of lockdown. And it really increased that engagement. And we are seeing that that is going to stay. At least all the fathers in this period who are involved, I think, have seen the benefit of how their relationship with their child has improved. Continuing with the innovation, our response to COVID, much like most organizations across the world, the centers are closed. You really had to empower the parents to facilitate learning at home. And these are parents who are mostly not educated, maybe illiterate, may think it's not my job to do any kind of learning activities. So our parental engagement really increased a lot, where we started equipping them and helping them believe that, hey, this is your this is something you can do, and you can do with just the resources that you have in your home. So what we did, we created really short contextual videos, like Dr. Chanel shared. There's a huge repository of 300 plus videos that we now have. Each one is really short, just about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Each one demonstrates an activity that they can do with their child at home, and using the resources that they have access at home. So it is not complex, it's not something that they feel overwhelmed by, but it's something that they would feel very comfortable and also enjoy doing. We started this with a small number of centers. It was received quite well, and then we were invited by the state. So we partnered with the state of Karnataka, the Department of Women and Child Development, under which the Anganwadis are. So we started sending the videos to the department, to the government, and the government would further cascade it down to their level of hierarchy that they have, finally reaching the parents. and the parents would do the activities with the child and send back images or videos to the Anganwadi teacher who kept a tab on this. And it happened quite beautifully. We had parents meetings even before the pandemic, where few parents would come, few would participate, but this kind of really increased that engagement. And we also could reach parents across the state, which is about 66,000 Anganwadis in the state of Karnataka. Of course, there is a digital divide. Not every child could be reached, but we really feel that whoever we could reach, we it was a big difference to them. For the children who did not have access to smartphones, we did another thing, which is we provided them with integrated workbooks, which were these little kits we made with some colors and color paper and worksheets where they could draw, paint, do some artwork. So at least those parents who were not able to access the videos on a regular basis had this some tool with them which they could engage with. It also came with a list of activities that they could do at home. So we really saw parents, grandparents, uh, elder siblings, neighbors getting together and doing these activities. So I think the sense of spreading of why the early years are important and what you can do just at home to stimulate early learning really was a big outcome that we saw from our engagement. So, from all of this, what we look forward to and what Makla Jagrati as an organization is looking forward to is really how do we make ECC as a social movement, something where people are more aware, because we see there's a general lack of awareness about the importance of early years. So, can every stakeholder, the parent, the government, the Anganwadis, the general civil society, everybody really can we look at increasing their awareness and infusing enthusiasm about bringing quality early childhood care and education to the mass, and especially for the children from the marginalized communities. Um, Increase the involvement of parents. There's no doubt that's important, and I think it's only there has to be more focused attention given to it. We've seen how it can be done during the pandemic, and that must continue. Of course, the staff at these centers, the teachers, the helpers, everybody who's there, how they can be well equipped to provide quality learning opportunities, leveraging technology for sharing knowledge, for sharing awareness, for spreading this, for equipping people, and especially for scaling up, leveraging technology is something we look forward to. And as an outcome of all of this, we really want to see all Anganwadis in the country as vibrant spaces that offer early learning opportunities to children. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to share. Thank you so much for your time, and hope what we shared you found useful.
Yeah, there's hardly any time. I think the two quick questions, one by Simran and one can be from Sangeeta. So, Simran, can you ask your question?
If she's put it on chat, maybe you can just read it.
It's on the chat. No, I don't know. They can hear me. I guess so. Yeah, Sangeeta, can you
Ma'am,
ask your question? Huh.
I don't think they can ask because they are not on stage. So maybe
Oh, okay, okay.
I just read out
So
their.
you can post your questions. There was a question, and the discussion has taken place about the cost of programs, and to Dr. Chanel, and she has responded to her. Yeah, Sumitra has asked a question. Yeah. So I don't know if I have any time for comments. They might end the session. But I would like to quickly say that first of all, thank all the speakers for very stimulating presentations. Uh, Quickly about Dr. Rita Chawla Dagan's presentation, the moment that is created, because I and Rita keep arguing also many times, the moment that is created, and which is also a habit of the mind, needs to look at it from the other angle. So this is all positive aspect, curiosity and humor are positive aspects, but we know when moments are created either by parents or teachers, there is a lot of negative emotion, and that is what takes the whole thing into a spin. So that is the comment for her that I
Very
would,
good point.
yeah. And for Dr. Chanel, congratulations, we were able to see how systems work and how you can connect systems and make them work. So you also brought in evidence-based work, and that's excellent to look at. And also taking things to the migrant workers, and our mobile crutches in India has also tried to do that very well. And I think it also resonates and brings the world, global voice together. And I also like the aspect that when this program monitoring is happening, you're taking in almost the 360-degree monitoring. And yeah, I would also like to know more about the home-based program costs so that they can be replicated elsewhere. Uh, then my comment for Sunaina Chatrapati, again, trying to tell us and show us how things are possible even in spite of all the bureaucracy that is there in India. So it's excellent to see that and how they're building capacities for the Anganwadi work, building communities, parents and fathers, bringing in the fathers to innovative ways. Kudos to that. And also very happy to learn about the sharing of materials through a toy library in the Anganwadis. And we would like to hear more about how are you managing, because when children take the toys home, they don't want to bring them back. They come back in very bad state. So how are you guys managing that? So it was about that. Yeah, so the lead fathers and leading ambassadors, the lead mothers, I think it's all very great. And I think somewhere many aspects of the theory and practice are coming together in these global voices. So thank you. I think we should leave before they, they throw us out of the room. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Professor
Thank
Rajni.
you.
Thank you, Rajni.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah. So I'm going to end the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.